Welcome, everybody. Black and White, Brian Rundle. I still haven't figured that out. And Lana Quest. It is Tuesday night, 7 o'clock.
Why do we have this weird setup? Like, is it me or like why are
No, I'm in a different spot in my house.
Oh, it's like a double wire. I see us up here. I see us down here.
What do you mean?
Is that me? Maybe it's my setup.
I know StreamYard has changed some things.
Like I see us twice. I see us up top, then below us, I see us again, and then everything is like in a rectangle. It's not spread out. It's
really? Is it annoying you?
Maybe it's hold on, and maybe it's my screen. So let me do some. There we go.
You got it?
Changing, yeah.
All right.
I shut down some stuff. Now we're still at the bottom too, which is weird, but that's fine.
Some weird shit is going on, Lana, and I don't know if we're going to be able to figure anything out because we've been trying to figure things out for going on. Do you know we are very close to our 2-year anniversary?
Oh man, get out of here!
I think it's next month or the
get me gifts. Huh? What am I getting? Like a present? Or
I don't want to blow the big surprise, but I know you already asked for a raise, so we had to make sure. I've got the paperwork submitted to HR. So I'll let you know what they say.
Exactly. Like what the heck?
But yeah. And by the way, we were talking about real quick. I was just talking about getting on TikTok, and I just realized don't bother because it's probably going away in a few weeks.
You think why? What's going on?
Well, that's the deadline. They did the extension.
You don't think they're going to extend it? Like I don't think.
I think they might extend it again and do that bullshit. But I think at some point they're going to have to either just say it's over and we can't do anything about this, or because that's I'm starting to get to that point where I don't know if anybody's going to buy it, especially with the issues with China and the tariff and all this nonsense. And China's just like, fuck off. We don't need you.
That is true, because why would China make a deal to sell it at this point when America's acting like assholes? Like, why would they sell it to us? Like, fuck you. You don't need it then.
That's exactly right. So, we'll see if it goes on or not. But Lana, how we were talking about Memorial Day weekend. I think yours was nice and relaxing.
Yeah.
Did you go?
Didn't do anything.
Mine as well. But of course, yeah, you know what the thing, Lana, is that when I woke up this morning, I'm sitting there thinking, it's like, oh shit, it is Tuesday. That's when we do the YouTube show. And I was kind of like, I didn't really pay that much attention over the weekend what was going on, because you want to get away from politics. You just want to relax and do your thing. But it was almost hard to escape some of the things that happened over the last few days. So we're going to take you back a few days ago when Donald Trump was in front of a group of cadets that were graduating from West Point. And he gave another one of his famous speeches. Now, when I say famous speech, when I refer to Donald Trump, it's not like the Abraham Lincolns of the world. It's not like the JFKs or the Obamas.
Right.
It is the typical Donald Trump speech. And for some bizarre reason, Lana, he decided to give this speech in front of, again, cadets that were graduating from West Point. This is the brilliant speech that's going to go down in history. Let's take a listen.
It didn't work out too well.
Oh, God damn it. All right. I'm just telling you, there is new shit that is going on this StreamYard, and I have not figured it out yet. Obviously, let's try it again.
It didn't work out too well, but that doesn't work out too well. I must tell you, a lot of trophy wives doesn't work out, but it made him happy for a little while at least. But he found a new wife. He sold his little boat and he got a big yacht. He had one of the biggest yachts anywhere in the world.
Why do I believe he's half talking about himself here?
That's what it sounds
He moved for a time to Monte Carlo and he led the good life. And time went by and he got bored. And 15 years later...
Except it's actually she got bored.
the company that he sold to called him and they said, the housing business is not for us. You have to understand, when Bill Levitt was hot, when he had momentum, he'd go to the job sites every night. He'd pick up every loose nail. He'd pick up every scrap of wood.
By the way, that's what his dad had Donald Trump doing when he was a kid in his construction site. So again, I think this is,
Right.
I think he's subconsciously talking about himself here.
Right.
If there was a bolt or a screw laying on the ground, he'd pick it up and he'd use it the next day in putting together a house.
He wasn't doing that.
So that is part of the speech, Lana. And again, this is to cadets. And I know there's been a lot of stories over the last few weeks about Joe Biden because Jake Tapper is going around and talking about his book that he wrote about Joe Biden, which Jake Tapper, in my opinion, can go fuck himself, because we're still talking about Joe Biden in a very successful presidency, by the way. And we're trying to find a way to pile on him and this continuous piling on of Democrats when we are now facing an administration that is doing everything they can to be a fascist, authoritarian government. And they want to sit around and still talk about Joe Biden all day.
Right.
They won't talk about Donald Trump anymore like this. They'll say things here and there, but they are not going out of their way to blast this administration. And if we're losing the journalists, if we're losing the media to this regime, then it's going to put us even further behind this 8-ball, Lana.
Totally agree. I mean, back to that speech. It's like it's the media, but it's also like people that are there, families that are there. Like, I would have left there. I would have been all over social media saying, this motherfucker was at my son's commencement or my daughter's commencement talking about trophy wives. Like, I would have went viral talking about this, because what the fuck is that? Like, why he did this before the last time? I forgot what the hell he was talking about. Oh, in front of was it high school kids when he was talking about sex or something? Like, this is wildly inappropriate. Like,
it was the Lana, it was in front of Boy Scouts.
Yeah, right. Like, how is this telling them to move forward with their life with positivity and success? Like, what is that? And then he left and didn't shake their hands, and nobody is like, just okay. Yeah, I'm glad he was here. Like, that's the problem I'm having. It's with Americans, right? Like, of course, it's journalists, but it's also Americans. We're just kind of like, that's how he is. Sleepwalking into, like you said, an oligarchy.
This guy's done so many things. Again, we're going to get into one of the things. He invited people to the White House who purchased his cryptocurrency.
That's okay.
And it's unbelievable. And the media, again, like Jake Tapper, he should be putting way more energy into the cryptocurrency visits to the White House than he should in Joe Biden, who, again, had a very successful presidency. And some people would go, well, Brian, you're just a Democrat and you're just saying that. I don't fancy myself as a expert on presidential history and historians when it comes to presidents. But the people who do, there was 164 of them who do a list every year about who is the greatest president of all time from number 1 all the way to 46. And Joe Biden debuted at number 14. That's a pretty high fucking number by presidential historians. So presidential historians believed he did a pretty fucking good job if you debut at number 14. And of course, we know who the guy who was dead last. But Lana, I'm confused because you said that he didn't stick around and shake hands. I think I have video footage of him shaking hands with the cadets. So let's take a look.
First captain and brigade
commander. My God.
Wow.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is the wrong footage, Lana? I believe
Gary
that's the
Thomas Ford
14th
III,
ranked
class
greatest
president.
president of all time, Joe Biden, who actually stuck around. And by the way, Obama did it. And I wouldn't be
Every
surprised
other
if
president,
the
like, come
president did it.
on, like just normal human people who are not selfish fucks who could care less. He just thought, like, in his mind, he's like, oh, military men, macho, talk about women and trophy wives, like that would be like it's just so, oh God.
Yeah, I think they also said too, I think Donald Trump made the comment, and it's so funny because he made the comment that nobody joined the military under Joe
Yeah,
Biden. Well,
yeah,
this is a graduating class
yeah,
from the people who joined the military
yeah,
during the Biden administration.
yeah,
So again, they say all this nonsense. There's no pushback anymore from the media because they know what's going to happen. If we push back on this guy and we're talking to him, he's just going to storm off like a big
yeah,
baby, or he's going to chastise you like you're a child,
yeah.
and you're not going to be able to say anything back because he's just going to keep going, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, and cut you off. And
Right.
then it just, you don't get the answers. And you and I have talked about that before. How do
Yeah.
you challenge this child?
Right.
And do you even bother doing the interview? I agree with Lana. Lana said, you know what? Fucking do the interview and watch him act like a child in front of everybody and let Americans decide
Right.
whether or not he is a child. We already know we've lost 35 to 40% of this country to a cult. But if we get the 5 to 10% in the middle there that are flippable, that looks and says, but again, though, Lana, at the same time,
Right.
they saw this guy 4 years ago. They saw him 8 years ago, and
Yeah.
they still voted for him.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck to do anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Wow. It's like they just forgot about COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, by the way, there's a new strain, but how
Is there really?
coming out of
Good.
China? Coming
More
right out of
great
China.
news.
Yeah, coming right out of China. But
Yeah. But the Democrats actually put out a nice little video today showing the contrast between the last couple Democratic presidents at West Point versus what we saw over the weekend.
Now is not only to protect our country, but to do what is right and just. As your commander-in-chief, I know you will.
These are good-looking people, I'll tell you, General. What's going on over there? Looks like all a bunch of male models I can't stand.
West Pointers know better than anyone. Freedom is not free. It requires constant vigilance. Nothing is guaranteed about our democracy in America. Every generation has an obligation to defend it, to protect it, to preserve it, to choose it. Now is your turn.
And we are buying you new airplanes, brand new beautiful planes, redesigned planes, brand new planes, totally stealth planes. I hope they're stealth. I don't know, that whole stealth thing, I'm sort of wondering.
America has no greater resource, no greater strategic asset than the men and women who wear our uniform.
Could you say a trophy wife? I guess we could say a trophy wife. It didn't work out too well. But it doesn't work out too well. I must have a lot of trophy wives. It doesn't work out.
All right, Lana, what the fuck happened? I mean, how does this?
And no one think that there's a problem with that. Like everyone is just like, oh, well, we know what he meant. Oh, he's a president. I'm just so disgusted. I can't even be any more disgusted with America.
Actually, you're exactly right, because the fact that we got here, because we've talked about this before, politics used to be really boring, and that's the way I think most people with intellect that follow politics really liked it. They liked it boring. They liked it like, okay, let's talk about policy, let's have discussion about policy. And that's what it used to be, debates and discussion. Now it is professional wrestling and Jerry Springer and there are too many people that are involved in politics now that have never been involved in politics in their entire lives before. And now, not only are they involved in it, they think that they are the experts on it. They think that they are telling us what really needs to happen in this country, and that Donald Trump is the person that's going to lead us to the promised land based on just what he tells them or what the right-wing propaganda media tells them. And that's where we are, Lana. And again, the more and more we keep going day by day, I'm more worried about the future of this country. 2026 is going to be the ultimate, whether we move forward or not move forward, whether or not we are actually able to save this country or we are just done. Because if the Democrats lose the House and the Senate in 2026, you might as well wrap it up, because I don't see how you come back from that. Because I don't know there is a 2028.
Yeah, he's going to be so emboldened as well, right? It's like he's already emboldened, but it will ignite him even more. Like it's going to be more in your face. Like and don't get me wrong, it's already in our faces.
Yeah.
But like, just imagine what we're seeing now, just like times 10, because if he gets the House and because that really means that he has a mandate, right? Like he's really going to be like, oh, I absolutely have a mandate. They love what I'm doing. I'm going to keep going.
Yep. And a supposed lame duck president, because I know they're threatening that he will run for a third term, which that I'm not really that worried about.
Right.
But, as a lame duck president who really doesn't give a shit what the ramifications are after that, although Donald Trump probably does have something in the back of his mind about his legacy.
Right.
But after 2026, he's already kind of losing his capacity. And it's so funny. Everybody keeps talking about dementia with Joe Biden, but one thing that they fail to realize, because it's obvious that Donald Trump is losing his capacity as well.
Mm-hmm.
But between the two of them, there's only one of them where dementia runs in your family, and that's Donald Trump's family. And generally, science and medicine will tell you that if it runs in your family, you have a higher chance of getting it. They actually had to pretend with his father that it put him in a fake office to make him think that he was still running his business.
Wow.
And something tells me they're kind of doing that with Donald Trump right now.
Right. That's what it feels like. Like, what the hell is he talking about half the time when we hear him talking? Who knows? He doesn't even know what he's signing when he's signing executive orders.
I tell anybody, go watch the video of him signing an executive order.
What is that in there again? It's like they literally are on camera explaining to him what he's signing, and he's got like a million questions, and it's like, didn't y'all discuss this ahead of time?
Yep. And they tell him like a child too. They're like, Mr. President, this is the bill that is so anti-woke that it is getting rid of the transgender people in the military and ending the wokeness of the radical left is something that you ran on. And, and he's like, oh, wow, this is a great one. And you're like, wait, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a great one.
Yeah.
Did you know that this is
Yeah, that's exactly how they talk to him, like he's a kindergartner.
Yeah, it's so fucking sad. They speak to him like he's a kindergartner, and he also speaks like one, Lana, because we had Memorial Day weekend. You and I were talking about Memorial Day weekend and what we did, and what you and I discussed before the show, that we try to stay away a little bit more from politics and try to relax and have a good weekend, but it's almost impossible to escape everything. This was the message that Donald Trump had for the American people on Memorial Day. Tell me if you can guess, Lana, what is missing from this particular message. It says, as everyone is aware, thousands of people are pouring through Mexico and Canada, bringing crime and drugs at level. Wait, this is not the Lana.
Oh, you got the wrong one.
I got the wrong message.
Oh, that's okay. I can tell you.
What do I do? Do I search the right one?
I'm gonna search it. I could tell you what's missing.
Okay. Hold on. I'm finding it, Lana, because now I'm pissed off. Just give me a second. Do you want to sing something maybe
Do
to
I want to
entertain?
sing?
Yeah.
I do not want to sing, but thank you for trying to highlight my beautiful voice.
I've heard it before. It is fantastic.
I have it. Do you want me to text it to
I've
you?
got it. No, I got it right here. Okay, are you ready?
Sure.
Happy Memorial Day to all, including the scum that spent the last 4 years trying to destroy our country through warped radical left minds who allowed 21 million people to illegally enter our country. That's not even close to true. Many of them being criminals and the mentally insane. There's no proof of that. Through an open border that only an incompetent president would approve, and through judges who are on a mission to keep murderers. And I know this isn't up on the screen, but Lana, keep in mind, every word is capitalized. Drug dealers, rapists, gang members, and released prisoners from all over the world in our country so they can rob, murder, and rape again, all protected by these USA hating judges who suffer from an ideology that is sick and very dangerous for our country. Hopefully, the United States Supreme Court and other good and compassionate judges throughout the land will save us from the decisions of the monsters who want our country to go to hell. But fear not. This is his presidential moment, but fear not. We have made great progress over the last 4 months. No, you haven't. We have made, and America will soon be safe and great again. By the way, crime numbers are way down. Again, happy Memorial Day and God bless America. Lana, what did you think was missing from the Memorial Day message?
Military. Military, anything relative to the military, our service men and women, people fighting in wars, people stationed somewhere, or veterans, like just nothing about the men and women who have served. Like, what the fuck is that?
And again, if this happened under any other presidency, if it was the first time somebody just put a message like that on Memorial Day, the press would be all over it. But we are just ignoring this and forgiving it. They might do a 5-minute piece on it and say, well, we talked about it, so you can't blame us for saying that we didn't mention it. Right. But this should be something that is over and over and over again, should be repeated and talked about. The cryptocurrency thing, the fact that this tariff thing that he's doing, this obviously feels like some sort of way to make billionaires more money, because he's going to announce a tariff, then these billionaires buy low, and then he's saying, oh, well, the European tariff, we're going to delay it for 90 days. Then the stock market goes up again. And this is really starting to become a joke. Actually, the New York Post even wrote an article. The New York Post, out of all the fucking periodicals, another one owned by Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox News, said, all right, stop playing fucking games with these tariffs, because it is clear he has no real plan with these tariffs. It's just, I'm going to say tariffs one day and then I'm going to take it back. And then all these flying monkeys go around and say, no, this is 4D chess.
Yeah, it's just dumb. I'm going to tell Apple, you better make your iPhones here in America. Ooh, Trump is fighting for us. Like, what?
It's funny you bring that up, because the guy, Joseph Kern, or whatever his name is, he's actually I can't remember his name, but he, damn it, what's his name? On CNBC. You'll know him when you see him. He was interviewing one of the Trump administration people about that iPhone and the cost of the iPhone. And this guy literally gets down on his knees for Donald Trump. So I'm surprised he pushed back on this. But he did ask a Trump administration official about the cost of the iPhone and what it potentially could go to. And you'd be interested to hear the answer here. Just like every Trump administration official, it's going to sound very familiar. Wait, let me remove this so it doesn't pop back up when I, oh my God, fuck off.
Figure out an off-ramp for Apple. It'd be a $3,000 iPhone if they tried to make everything here. $3,500 for a good one, the kind you'd like, probably. Yes. But
No,
what's the
I'm
offer?
a smoke signal kind of guy.
What's the supply? Yeah, what's the supply chain issue? I mean, what is Tim Cook supposed to do?
Right. Well, we'll see how it works out. But the
I don't
bottom
know.
line is
Just another I don't know answer. Like, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I don't know. We just can't say anything against them. Just Trump woke up one morning and decided to say we're gonna make them here. Like they're not gonna be here. Like I'm just so confused. Like who's believing this? Like who's literally believing? You know what? They are believing it because I've seen plenty MAGA video with these dumb fucks talking about tariffs and bringing manufacturing back to America, and it's like. One, who's investing in that because that would be billions of dollars. Two, even if someone invested in those companies, where the fuck are you putting all those manufacturing companies? Three, you're gonna pay like how much? Because the people in China are making like $5 a day to make the soles of sneakers, right? Mm-hmm. Like in Vietnam, they're making like $3 a week. Like we're paying what everyone in the manufacturing company's minimum wage. Like, are y'all crazy? Like what you're saying is not making sense. That's why he just said the cost of cell phones would be $3,500 because Jesus Christ, you're probably gonna need 10 factories just to make one iPhone, and then you're gonna have to pay everyone a livable wage and give them medical insurance and every other benefit. Like, have y'all not thought this through?
Well, there's another thing that I don't think they have thought through here, Lana. Number one, the child labor in China is still a thing, but it has reduced a lot because they have replaced a lot of workers with robots and AI and all that stuff because they're a little bit more ahead of the curve on there. But the one thing that they really have not thought of, or I have not heard too many people mention, is the roll of the dice of these companies to say, okay, let's let the tariff thing go through and let's hope it works out eventually somewhere down the line so we can bring manufacturing jobs back here. What happens in 2028 if there's a presidential candidate that's elected that rolls back all of these tariffs? Then they're fucked.
It just doesn't make sense.
And I think they think about that.
Right. Because they will be rolled back. But they're not going to be manufacturing jobs here anyway because we can't, because no one's investing. Who's paying for them? The government? Because that's not how that works. The government's not opening up manufacturing. You need investors. And there won't be investors for the same reason you just said. Yep. When stuff starts to roll back, we don't need that anymore. We're going to start getting it somewhere cheaper. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And again, I think, this probably would have made more sense, and it still may not have worked. Maybe in the 50s, in the 60s, when, there was more of a chance of having manufacturing jobs here in America. And
back when
they played,
we didn't have iPhones.
We didn't have the iPhone. And we also did?
Huh?
I said, what we also did is we actually paid the workers a fair amount where the people who are actually paying the workers did not have that huge of a discrepancy. I saw something the other day that since 1980, do you know that the wage gap between the people who pay the earners and the actual earners, the earners from 80 until now, their wages went up 10.9%. Do you know what it went up for the CEOs and the top people? 900% plus nine. It was like 997%. That's insane.
Yeah. Yep.
That's insane.
And they're about to get tax breaks.
Yeah, right. They're about to get another tax break. And that's the thing is, I don't understand how Americans do not understand this. That this is what has happened, especially since the 80s, when Ronald Reagan started this trickle-down economics, was to continue to cut taxes for the ultra wealthy. And the idea is you cut the taxes for them, revenue is going to be more for the government and the workers are going to wind up getting more money. But I just told you what happened as a result of continuing to cut taxes for the ultra wealthy. They don't give it to their workers. They give it to themselves, and their great grandkids are going. The great grandkids who aren't even born yet have more money than all of us already because of this nonsense.
Yes, they can't even give it all away.
Right.
And they still don't fucking donate. So there's that.
And this is the problem. What you just said, Lana, earlier is that you're so disappointed with Americans that they don't pay attention to this stuff, that they just go through their day and act like, I don't know, they're either like they have apathy toward politics, or they're suckered into believing that somehow they're going to be part of that class someday. And it's very frustrating.
It's awful, man.
I forgot to play this clip real quick when we were talking about Donald Trump's inability to speak properly. This is just a very quick clip, but this is him just trying to say, I want to say he was trying to say cryptology.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic.
And you see, he always, he knows no fucking clue what he's saying whenever he does that.
Cryptologic.
Cryptologic. I will guarantee you, we could go through every single president and we could find a clip where we'd be like, wait, what the fuck did he just say? But with this guy, we can find hundreds of them. Like
cryptologist.
This is just another guy who thinks that, well, part of the reason why he thinks this is because they tell him, you're the king. You're the greatest thing that has ever lived in the history of this country. I think it is part of that thing we were talking about, that he's starting to get old and they know how to sucker him. They know how to let him pretend that he's president because he's not. I mean, the Heritage Foundation's the president.
No, it's true.
And they let him think this stuff. So he's cocky enough to go into these speeches and not even read ahead of time. A word pops up on him and he tries to get through it. And man, it is painful.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. My God.
Yeah. So sometimes he goes by himself and a reporter has to ask him a question. And I don't know, Rana, if you remember, Donald Trump ran on the fact that on the day he was elected, that the war in Ukraine and Russia, it's going to be over. And one of the reasons is because originally, if he were president during that time, war would have never happened under the guise of these two are so scared, or Vladimir Putin so afraid of me.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no chance he would have invaded Ukraine. So the day I get elected, he's going to be so afraid that this war is going to end. So a reporter asked him, say, hey, man, what's going on here? And he has a lot of he's got a lot of disappointment in Vladimir Putin, which I think all of us knew that Vladimir Putin didn't give a flying fuck what Donald Trump had to say.
With what Putin's doing, he's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
Ooh.
What do you want to do about that? I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. Any other questions?
No, I'm so over that fucking dumb shit.
Not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
OMG. He sounds like a crazy old man. Like, he is trying to fake. One, he doesn't care if people die.
No, not a bit.
At all.
Nope.
He's just saying that shit. He doesn't give a fucking flying fuck. We saw him lie on people constantly to put their lives in danger. So we know he doesn't care about lives. Like, what? He's just embarrassed. So that's just like shit. I'm embarrassed. Let me act tough. And then he's like, what are you going to do? His whole tone changes and goes down like, we'll see. Not going to tell you fake news. Like, yeah.
That's it. He was tougher on the so-called fake news than he was on Vladimir Putin. And he continues, he's one of these guys that he could actually pick up the phone and talk to Vladimir Putin, but he knows that Vladimir Putin doesn't give a flying fuck what he has to say. So he thinks being tough on Truth Social and to a reporter who asks him a question is the way that he is showing toughness to the American people towards Vladimir Putin. And yes, it will absolutely work on the flying monkeys, but it will not work on, first of all, it definitely is not working on Vladimir Putin.
But did you hear what they said in Russia when, I don't know if they were shown this video, but it was like in response to that video, Putin and his cronies were like, he's just emotional.
Right. Called him emotional.
Yo,
That's hilarious.
that means zero respect for you.
None.
Like, that's like, okay, old guy, go sit down and let the adults handle the rest of this. You go get your diaper changed.
Yep. Yep. I mean, this is really, really, really
emotional. They might as well have said he was on his period. Like, it's like,
how much is Vladimir Putin and Russia just laughing their asses off?
My gosh.
Our work here is done. They thought that in 2016.
Yeah.
This is not just the first tower going down. This is the second tower going down. Do you remember when they started celebrating? They never thought on 9/11 that the work that they did would have caused the destruction that it did. You even saw them celebrating. Like, oh my God, I can't even believe how much this worked in our fate. We never even expected this. That's Russia's same thought process about America. And they were like, we knew that there were stupid people in America. We didn't know they were this fucking stupid.
Yeah. 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 They're like, yeah, we could throw bots on Twitter to say whatever, and Americans like just believe it. Like, who would have thought that we would have had Putin sympathizers
in America
while he was holding American hostages?
Right.
He held American hostages. It's so, what's wrong with y'all? All of them, though. Qatar, all of them are laughing at us.
Yep.
All of them.
Yep. I mean, we have military people who now are siding with Russia because Donald Trump said, I will never understand that as long as I fucking live. I will just never understand how we became a country where not only do we not look at Russia as our enemy, but now we're looking them as the ally. They're the ones who should be left alone and attack Zelensky, who was just sitting in his country doing nothing. And they have been gaslit into, well, let's go back to 2014, what happened. It's like, no, I'm not listening to any of that nonsense. We're talking about what's going on right now. And the fact that any American is siding with Vladimir Putin and Russia, to me, is disgusting. But this is why they're going to be disingenuous, Lana, is because now you see the ire of Donald Trump towards Vladimir Putin, and they're going to start turning back against Russia because Donald Trump says so. It's just so, it's
but is he really? Like, I always think like he just never is, because I always feel like Putin has something or knows something. Like, I just don't see it. He's just gonna laugh it off and be like, hi, he's just being emotional. Like, he's just going to laugh on, because it's like he's a useful tool. Like, he's
an idiot.
Yeah, so exactly. So yeah, he's not. Yeah, Trump's not going to do anything. Now, if they went forward and they sanctioned the people who are trying to do business with Russia and, like, you know, squeeze Russia like that would be a different story. But I doubt that 1,000% he would ever do that.
And even if he does, it's going to be one of those things that gets in the news that there's sanctions against Russia, but if you dig a little deeper, you're going to find out that it's not as big of a deal as, he'll do like the minimum sanctions, but the headlines just say sanctions against Russia. And then people think, oh, that's Donald Trump being tough. But then the people like you and I who will dig a little bit further will be like, oh, well, this is stupid. Just like his EO on lowering drug prices. Again, it's all show until they actually do it. That's why you saw Democrats stand up and go, oh, this is the plan? Okay, great. We're on board with you. Let's sit down right now and discuss the plan on here. Because they know that it's not possible.
Exactly. That's exactly what he does. Like, it's just, it's all bullshit. He's got these people running around talking about, oh, Donald Trump's the best, no tax on tips. Until you dig further to find out, like, motherfucker, you're still being taxed on your tips. These are cash tips, like, that they're talking about. When are you getting cash tips? And those tips aren't taxed anyway, because half the time you're sharing the fucking tips with you're just putting them in your pocket and sharing them with your coworkers. So, like, he's giving you nothing.
And it's only for 2 years, by the way. So, the other thing too is I hear that being a big celebration thing. And I didn't even realize this until I read it. Do you know it only affects 2% of the entire country? So it's not like it's this thing where all of us get to save. I mean, anybody that can save, great. That's good for you. But it only affects 2% of the country.
And this is how crazy MAGA are. They celebrate something that's only going to help 2% of the country. Like, no tax on tips. Yay. If it even helps that. Because, again, we're talking about cash tips only. So that, but they get pissed if you want to forgive loans for students. Like, make it make sense. Like, you're cheering for this fucking little crumbs that Trump is literally giving you, just crumbs. But then he's like, hey, I'm going to forgive this stuff. You're like, well, I don't want my tax dollars to go to that. And it's just like, your fucking tax dollars, where are they going right now?
They also celebrate a bill that actually will affect a large amount of Americans when Medicaid and Medicare is going to clearly get cut.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It really is. And like I said, you know what, Lana? You've said it before. I've said it before. Maybe some people need to go through some things and understand that maybe it's time to start waking the fuck up and start paying attention to what happens in your country instead of being apathetic or fucking stupid about this shit. That's what needs to start happening. Because, again, we have an administration that, as we've grown up, Lana, we've always heard about politics and we've heard about politicians, and politicians lie. And sure, politicians tell some lies, that aren't, I think, egregious to, some of them will say, we'll try to do this to get votes, and then maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe their intentions were to do that and it didn't happen, so they call them liars. But this administration does not care about literally flat lying on a daily basis about either what's going on or what's going to happen. This rat face fuck, Stephen Miller, got up to the podium the other day and he was asked about grocery prices. And of course, he just looks right at the guy and says, grocery prices are down. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Of course, because that's the topic that you're here to speak about. But I want to ask you one other question about the topic of prices. We heard from the president on this just yesterday, right now, on prices and the risk that there could be some short-term, as he said, shortages. He was referring specifically to dolls. What do you tell Americans right now, Stephen, who say they can't afford to, in the president's words, be patient? Americans who voted for President Trump on his promise that he would lower prices across the board on day one.
But he did lower prices across the board on day one.
Well, grocery prices last month went up 0.4%, of course. So I mean, just across the board, not exclusively eggs.
Inflation, as you would acknowledge, is down substantially. Gas prices are down substantially. The new GDP report showed a 22% record increase in investment in the United States of America. So all of the, and don't even, egg prices, of course, which was all you guys talked about for a few days, I think are down like 80%. The reality is that we can either
He's just making up numbers, by the way.
He just is. He heard Trump say 80%. He's like, he said it 80%. It's like he doesn't. He doesn't even go to the store.
I think maybe the second most disappointing thing about this clip, Lana, is that I feel like I'm getting the Stephen Miller haircut, which is really bothering me. All right.
Render economically to China, or we can reclaim and reshore our manufacturing base and our industrial needs. And it's not just China. In the event of any national emergency, this is the president's first duty as commander-in-chief. In the event of any national emergency, we cannot be reliant on foreign countries for steel, aluminum, energy, technology, any of the essential components that we need to keep this country running. He is fulfilling his duty as commander-in-chief that every president before him had failed to fulfill or even actively betrayed.
Yeah. So, I mean, with this administration, most administrations, when they answer these questions, they try to drive a straight line down the highway. These fuckers are just bumper cars. They don't give a fuck. They're just ramming into every car. They're spinning around. They don't need, I mean, the first thing was asked about, what about grocery prices? And this guy went into the fucking tariffs and steel at the end of it. So,
groceries are not down. That's a lie. They're not down. Eggs, I think, went down slightly, right? But like they're still high. Like, you know what I mean? What, instead of $20 for a dozen, what are they, like 10 now? 12? I don't know. Still expensive. Gas isn't down. Like, what the flip are we talking? Steel, lumber. We're not making that here. They keep gaslighting, but they can, so they do. Yep. This is like, who is believing we're doing that here? We make electricity. No, Trump hasn't said yet to Canada, take your fucking electricity and shove it. You know why? Because he cannot. We cannot support it. We need Canada to help us, as they have been. And it's funny how they say, or he said, don't surrender. We're not going to surrender to China. China didn't start this.
Right.
Like, what the fuck you talking about surrendering to when your orange daddy started the fight and you're talking about we're not going to surrender. You started it.
They keep trying to make this assertion that China's been ripping us off for years. At the end of the day, China could say the same thing about us. They're saying you're the one buying our goods and being able to sell them at much cheaper prices because you are buying them from us. You know who else had all of his goods made? Donald Trump, when he was selling his ties, when he was selling his shirts and all that stuff. That was made in China. Do you know what else Donald Trump did? He also had undocumented immigrants working at Mar-a-Lago. You know what else Donald Trump did? He actually praised and allowed a transgender woman in one of his pageants before. So all this fucking shit that Donald Trump did that the right goes nuts over, Donald Trump is done. But they turn their head. He also walked in and what's that?
Those trademarks in China.
Yeah. Didn't his daughter?
Yeah. She got like 12. His last administration, that was like the first thing that he did was get her some trademarks in China. Like, but now China bad?
Yeah. It's same thing. China's bad. Russia's good. And China, don't get me wrong. We all understand China is not an ally of the United States, and we are in competition with China.
Absolutely.
But it was more of a healthier economic battle with China. I mean, yes, there is some strife there, and you hope to just keep it in a cordial manner the best way you can. They're not the same as Russia, but yeah, it's quite amazing, Lana. Actually, I didn't even realize there was 12 comments here that we missed. Diane, if I was there to see my son, cousin, friend, I think she's talking about, the graduate. If I was a graduate, a family member, a friend, or a graduate, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. Baby Juggernaut, hey, how are you? Good to see you. And she said she would be too. Diane says the mainstream media swept this under the rug. The mainstream media, You know, it's funny, Lana, we get these comments all the time about CNN. So first of all, CNN is not the go-to for Democrats. I mean, I don't understand why you think that this is the channel that the left and Democrats rely on the way right does Fox News and Newsmax and those insane channels. It's not the same thing. In fact, all I keep hearing about is the ratings for CNN going down. So if that's the left channel, logistically, that should tell you that people on the left are no longer watching CNN. So, and CNN, again, we've had this discussion. They're nowhere near the same as a Fox News, but I do believe, and I agree with Diane there, that the mainstream media, so-called mainstream media, I don't think they're doing their job properly. I think they're bowing down too much to this administration. And the reason why we're here is because they allowed this sort of both sides, let's be fair, to Donald Trump. And that played into this whole mess. And that's why we're here. And that's why it may be really difficult to win in 2026. But, you know, we'll see.
Yeah. Oh.
Diane says, and what's up with his cultist red hat? And take the cost off. He had no cut. He's a demented, vile, filthy piece of garbage. I mean, I couldn't have said that better. Donald Dennis says, incredible president. That must have been when we were talking about Joe Biden. What do you think, Lana?
Yeah.
Had to have been, right? There's no way Donald Trump.
Or Obama.
Or Obama. Yeah, there's no way Donald Dennis is talking about Donald Trump, right?
I don't know. Maybe you should replay him talking about his that he can't, whatever he was, what word was that? I don't know.
Donald Dennis might still be waiting for his trophy wife. Baby Juggernaut says Miller is the worst. Diane says, and what's up with wearing the cultist red cap? And okay, I think did I read that? Yeah. And I guess that's where they're afraid to say no to him on the hat. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing is, first of all, nobody in their right mind would have worn a hat, especially one that had a political message on their head at West Point. That's fucking insane.
Oh, God.
Speaking of insane, Lana, we alluded to this a little bit earlier. There are people who actually paid money for Donald Trump's little crypto coin so they can get a visit to the White House. And one guy posted his little visit to the White House. It turns out that he got a tour of the White House without Donald Trump, which, if I remember correctly, if you're in 4th or 5th grade, you could probably get that tour for free and not pay $500,000 for it. But this is what he posted. He looks happy. Yeah. Grifters be grifting and suckers be suckers.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Did you see a picture of the food?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yep. It looked like something out of like a microwave dinner kind of thing.
Yeah, it looked like a TV dinner. And then they had the nerve to call the salad organic. But they rage against anything organic. But then he said that the salad was organic, but it probably was not organic. But it's funny that rich people want organic. He knows that. Like,
right. Yeah. This is just, it's incredible, man. I just can't in my brain put it together how anybody thinks that this is a good idea. I just can't.
No. Why is it a good idea that like he's selling access? Why is that cool? Like, why is that cool? Why is that cool that he's keeping that jet, which we know he's not, you know, he's going to fly it when he leaves. He's not going to fly it as the president because it's not going to be ready. They're not going to allow it, but he's going to take it with him. I mean,
yeah, it's supposed to be donated to his presidential library when he leaves. And, you know, the fact again that this isn't covered more, he's taking a jet from the Saudis. He has a crypto meme coin. There's and obviously too, he is losing his mental capacity. I can't wait for Jake Tapper's next book, because that actually really pisses me off. I'll be honest with you. Last thing, Lana, there's one thing that I really liked here. There is a gentleman named is James Tallarico in Texas, and he's actually a pastor too, and he's also a representative in Texas. And Texas did this nonsense where they're passing a bill to post the 10 Commandments in their classroom. And James Tallarico, who is a pastor, had some questions for the committee or whoever it was, the other people in the Texas legislature who are trying to pass this law. I found this to be brilliant. I really, really like this a lot. Tell me what you think, Lana.
The fourth commandment.
And by the way, I want you to watch this clown, this lady here, because all these MAGA idiots, they think it's all a big joke and they think it's funny, but then her demeanor changes when she realizes that he keeps pressing her, and she's like, oh, fuck, now I actually have to answer these questions seriously.
Keep the Sabbath.
Part of keeping the Sabbath holy is not working on the Sabbath.
That is, yeah.
What day is the Jewish Sabbath?
It is on Saturday.
And what day is it today?
It is Saturday. Here we are.
The Christian Sabbath is what day?
Sunday, in honor of the day that Jesus rose from the dead.
And we're scheduled to give this bill a final vote on what day of the week?
It's ironic, isn't it?
Would you be willing to postpone your bill so that we're not breaking the 10 Commandments by working on the Jewish or Christian Sabbath?
I love that you.
By the way, he's not joking, and people are in there laughing, and he's being fucking dead serious.
Said that because
you're saying that you'd rather tell people to follow the 10 Commandments than follow it yourself?
I would have rather have had this bill passed the other day when it was time.
We as a legislature are about to force every teacher in the state to post the 10 Commandments in their classrooms.
If they are donated.
Do members of the Texas legislature follow the 10 Commandments?
So again, this bill is about honoring our historical, educational, and judicial heritage with the displaying of the 10 Commandments.
The 9th commandment is thou shalt not bear false witness. Are you aware of any legislators who have lied about anything?
That is
no more laughing.
You know, there might be one coming up in a minute if you keep talking. We'll see.
The 7th commandment is thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yes.
Do you think that members of the legislature should focus more on trying to follow the 10 Commandments rather than telling others to follow them?
I am. You know, it is incumbent on all of us to follow God's law.
Fan-fucking-tastic. And that, I'd go to that guy's church.
Yeah.
That's the church I'd go to.
Yeah, like what the fuck? And it's so true because they're such hypocrites.
Yep.
Because I say it all the time, these motherfuckers, half of them don't go to church. I mean, I know some do, but they're not going to church.
I think they do, but it's a show. It's not, it's theater.
I don't even know that. I don't know. They're too busy on Sundays fucking posting. So what church are they going to? Like they're always on the Sunday news show. Like I don't see them in churches. I don't see them posting pictures of them in churches or leaving with their family. Like I really think they want us to believe that they're going. I just don't think they go. I think Biden and Pence and Obama go.
Right.
I don't think Lauren Boebert, after fucking drinking and fucking with that nasty looking guy. Well, they're both nasty looking guys. Like they're waking up on Sunday to go to church.
Right.
Levin is not fucking going to church. She's got her cross on. They're not going to, Boebert is not going to church on Sundays after she gets felt up on Saturdays. They're not going to. Mike Johnson, maybe. But
he definitely does. Mike Johnson's the guy who goes to church 5 times a week.
Yeah, but half the time he's in DC. So is he really going? He's not going in DC. Like
he probably does like a Zoom church. But again, I think it's more. He's the strange, very weird religious guy that I think there's a lot of theater behind it. There's some disturbing things going on in Mike Johnson's head. There's no question about it. And I
absolutely.
think he goes to church a lot to try to remove those very strange things.
Absolutely. I'm sure he's got the same shit that Pence had on his server.
Right. Correct. Yeah. The internet history of these dudes would be something to behold, I would imagine.
He already said that he and his son, like,
yeah,
what do they lock each other's porn up or whatever? Take each other's.
They have an app that can
Yeah.
tell you whether or not they visit a porn site. It's just, oof, man. Some strange cats on a quest.
Facts.
And they're in charge.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. It's a sad state, but you know what? People didn't think it was important to get up and vote, right?
Right.
So now you're in Mississippi. You're going, what? Gosh darn, the president hasn't even come to Mississippi, and we need FEMA. We need aid. Nah, he ain't going to Mississippi. It's not an election year for him. Why would he be going? He doesn't need the photo op. He's doing what he wants. So now y'all dummies in North Carolina, Kentucky, Mississippi, the states that vote for him, he's not even talking about your storms.
The hilarious part is, go ahead.
And I was just going to say, so now these people are not going to be able to rebuild, and they're going to lose their homes. And his rich, fat fucking billionaires are going to swoop in and buy their property and rent it out to them.
We heard lie after lie after lie about how FEMA handled the storm in North Carolina when Biden was president, even though the officials and everybody around said we couldn't be happier with the response from FEMA and the administration under the Biden administration. Now, there is no response from FEMA because they have been denied. Josh Hawley, who is a MAGA idiot who rose his fist in the air on January 6th, he is literally during a hearing begging, was it Kristi Noem, can we please get some relief? Sarah Huckabee from Arkansas got denied federal money to help her state. And it is just fucking unbelievable. But they won't go out of line. They won't go up to the cameras and go, I voted for this guy and now he's fucking over my state. I'm pretty fucking pissed off. They'll sit there like good little boys and girls and not say a fucking thing. And that's why all of these assholes can go fuck themselves. I'm really just so over these people.
Yeah, let them not be able to rebuild. It's their own goddamn fault.
Yep.
It's their own fault. Stay waiting. He said you're going to go through some pain. So maybe you're going to go through some pain. Because again, it's going to be the mold all over your walls and shit. You want to fucking shoot guns at FEMA. Think FEMA was going to take your homes. FEMA ain't going to take your homes. Fucking government's going to take your homes.
Right.
Home's going to take your home. Like,
yep.
What the hell? Y'all ain't going to have no Social Security, no Medicaid, no Medicare, and no home.
Right. I my only fear, Lana, is what are the percentage of the flying monkeys that are being affected are still going to buy the it's Biden's fault narrative?
Of course. And they would vote for Trump if they could. Again, it's never his fault, ever.
That's in 2028. Even if they have no home, they've got no money.
Exactly.
They'll say, well, I'm voting for Trump because he's going to get it back for me because Biden, this was 4 years of Biden. Just like, wait a minute. No, it's 4 years of Trump. Yeah, but Biden's policies.
Yeah, exactly.
Had him letting the immigrants in 4 years ago. I had some guy come up on TikTok the other night and try to explain to me that 20 million people crossed the border. And I literally in real time read to him. I said, here are the real statistics. First of all, there's no way to tell you exactly how many.
How many people are in America? Like, what are we talking about?
There's 300 million, 330 million, but they said 20 million over the Biden administration crossed the border. And I explained to him, first of all, it's not even 20 million that came to the border. They think that people that crossed and got through that were undocumented is anywhere between 2.3 to 3 million. And I read that to him. And I said, do you now believe that it's 20 million? He goes, no, maybe not 20, but maybe 10. I was like, I just fucking read to you it was 2.3 to 3, but you're still going to believe it's 10? Like, it's unbelievable, Lana. It's unreal.
Yeah. You know what I've been loving? So like on Twitter, I'll post something. Maybe it was George Floyd, right? I think it was George Floyd about,
Yeah.
he's dead, blah, 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 how he died, police brutality. And they'll be like, at Grok, is it true that Derek Chauvin killed? And then they get owned by Grok. It's like,
I use Grok all the time when I'm on TikTok to try to prove people. And they're like, where's your source? What's your source? I said, it's Elon Musk. Elon Musk is my source. So they can't say anything. It's so funny because they were like, oh shit, Elon Musk is telling me it's Grok. But they'll still even go, Grok isn't a source. I'm like, no, I know Grok will give me the information, right? And then it'll lead me to any source that you want me to go to. So you tell me where to go, and I will go to any source that you think is fit for this particular question. And Lana, 100% of the time, they can't give me a source to go to because they're just more comfortable in their lies than the actual truth.
Fox News. Or they just listen to Trump. Like if Trump says eggs are down 80%, they all start writing on social media, eggs are down 80%. My orange daddy said so. Like it's bizarre.
You and I pointed this out before, though, Lana. I think they're not realizing about the egg prices is that Democrats are doing that to fuck with Trump supporters. We know that Donald Trump has nothing to do with lowering or higher or getting the egg prices higher, just like we knew it wasn't with Biden. But they were saying it against Biden, so we're just fucking with them saying it against Trump. We all know
because he's not admitting it, right? Like he's not they're ignoring the bird flu that was causing the issue. So that's why it is his egg prices because he's not addressing it and trying to do something different. But he's fucking on Easter got 30,000 goddamn eggs that he's like throwing away for Easter. Like I'm just confused about it.
Yeah, it truly is amazing, and I think this is probably why we are stuck for a long time because people have just been insistent on believing what's not true over what is true, and they'll run as fast as they can from the truth. And they've been programmed now every time, Lana, to question the source. And the number one question I get all the time, what is that from CNN? I'm like, oh my God, dude. I was just it's funny. You could play a clip of Donald Trump saying something, and if it says CNN on the bottom, they're like, oh, that's from CNN. I'm like, you are a fucking idiot. I never want to speak to you ever again. I can't listen to you. I can't look at you.
Yeah.
So fucking frustrating. Lana, the Quest Show is a show that comes on Thursday nights on YouTube. And why are you laughing?
Because you're about to say, Lana, are you on Thursday?
It's my tradition.
I was supposed to be on last Thursday, but Twitter was messing up. Like there's too much going on. So
we can't. When Twitter's messing up, we can't go on. But I'd imagine this Thursday we're going to see the Quest Show.
Yeah.
I think I just put the pressure on Lana.
No, I still have it ready. I had it ready for last week.
All right. Well, if it's ready, that means she is in. Just as long as her time doesn't get screwed up, because my time almost got screwed up. I was like, oh shit, today's fucking day to do our show. When there's a Memorial Day on Monday,
right?
You kind of forget that today's Tuesday, and you think today was Monday, and I'm like, oh nope, today's Tuesday. So, the Quest Show is on YouTube. I do have in the description on the YouTube channel below where you can get a link directly to her show. You can watch it at 7:00 live on Thursday nights or whenever the fuck she feels like popping up. And then you can always watch the clips of her show, and you can watch replays of her show. I highly suggest you do it and follow her and like all her shit. And by the way, while we're on the subject, Lana, let's follow our show. Subscribe, right?
Yes, subscribe, share, like, notification bells.
Notification bell, share, like. I'll tell you, I mean, because Lana has had success getting a lot of people following her on Twitter. I've done pretty decent recently getting people to follow me on TikTok. Lana and I both will tell you that YouTube is very difficult.
It's very hard. Yeah, it's hard to find like your niche. Like you've got your niche over on TikTok. I'm over on Twitter. Like it's hard to do all of them, honestly. But
Yeah.
YouTube is like just breaking through on that it's insane because you can never take all your followers from Twitter or TikTok or anywhere else and have them come here and subscribe. Like they just don't do it.
It's funny because some clips that I'll put out there, some you'll see might get 20, 30 views. Some we've had as high as 15,000 views. Some, the good ones would range anywhere in the 1,500 to 5,000 views, stuff like that. But it turns out so many of those views go to the wrong fucking people. They go to MAGA people. And all we get is in the comment section on those clips are MAGA people who are pissed the fuck off.
Absolutely. That's how it is on Twitter, probably TikTok. That's what drives my engagement. It is MAGA driving the engagement.
Yep.
It's okay. Like keep yelling out. I mean,
yeah,
it's good because you can find people to report because they're definitely deplorable.
Oh, no question about it. But
yeah,
let's if you can, if you are watching, I don't know why it's a big deal to just hit the subscribe button. Fuck it. You don't even have to come back. Just fucking hit the subscribe button.
Exactly. That too. Like it's not gonna like come on automatically. Like just
I mean, it's not as annoying as going, because who the fuck cares about your mailbox anymore? And then you open up the mailbox and there's really shit in there. It's just nothing. And you're like, God damn it. Or even your email. It's like you get email and you're like, oh, there's 8 emails. And you're like, well, all these are garbage. I don't want these fucking emails. Hit the subscribe button and don't worry about it.
Help a small YouTube channel out.
I mean, Jesus, we're going on 2 years now. And that's why I'm saying it is difficult. I mean, really difficult to get. And I think the original magic number is that everybody wants to get to is 1,000. And we have found that it is not easy at all on YouTube. And I'm sure there's probably better ways to do it, Lana. But, and I've tried to research some of the best ways to do it and try to get some things out there. Daniela, hey, Daniela, how are you? Thank you for coming. But we are actually just wrapping up. It's good to see you. And I hope this might be Daniela that I know from TikTok. Daniela, if it is, she's awesome. If it's not, Daniela Hemingway, you're awesome too. So thank you for coming in. And we will check everybody out next Tuesday. And again, check out, Lana, please, on the Quest Show. All right. Have a good night.
You too. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.